It's time for the Kim Hammer Show, where you'll learn how your state government affects you, your family, and community. Here's Kim Hammer.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the Kim Hammer Show. I appreciate your patience last week while I was out sick. Got diagnosed with that ugly type A flu, followed by a case of pneumonia. I'm still battling out from underneath, so appreciate your patience. I know we had to do a replay, but glad to have you back listening today on an absolutely beautiful Saturday afternoon. Want to start off by thanking some of the folks that make this show possible. As always, Edwards Food Store. We appreciate the stores that they have here in Central Arkansas. Also over in East Arkansas, starting at Marianna, going up to Forest City and Harrisburg, and then right up the 67 corridor over in the Levy exit, up into Jacksonville, BB, over on Main Street here in Little Rock, also up in the Heights, and then they've got one at Otter Creek and there at Bryant. So if you're looking for a great place to be able to shop in a clean store with a clean environment, friendly people, and competitive prices, would really encourage you to take a look at Edward Food Stores. Also want to say thanks to Everett GMC down in Bryant. If you're looking for a GMC product, that's the place to go. They'll make you a great deal. They got a great selection of automobiles down there in Bryant at the Alcoa exit, and you'll get friendly service. I promise you'll get not only service as far as the sale of the vehicle, but also service as far as taking care of your vehicle after you purchase it. And then also would like to say thanks to our friends down there at Baxley, Phillips, Mouty, the guys. If you're looking for real estate in Sling County, that's a great place to go. They're right there at the Spring Hill Road and Highway 5. Great place to go. They'll take good care of you. They got a great selection inventory of houses and a great network of people they can take care of if you're looking to list your property in Saline County, or especially if you're looking at commercial property. They got an excellent inventory of commercial property. And if you're looking to rent a house, they've actually got a division that'll take care of getting you lined up with some great quality rental property as well for your residential needs. Today, we're going to focus on the Big Buck Classic. As you may know or may not know, that's why you're tuning in to get informed about events going on here in Arkansas. The Big Buck Classic is going on here in Little Rock, and we have Deke Whitbeck, who is the president of the Game and Fish Foundation, joining us from the Big Buck Classic on the phone line. And Deke, I want to thank you for taking some time away from your duties there to join us on the Kim Hammer Show today.
Well, thank you, sir. Great to be with y'all. It is already a big day at the Big Buck Classic here at the State Fairgrounds. Parking lot is full. People are still coming in the doors. There's still plenty of room. They're about to open up the south side of the lot there. And it's kind of like the State Fair in January. A lot of great exhibitors, great food. The Game and Fish Foundation has the kids zone where we're have a indoor BB gun range, a trout fishing pond. There is something for everybody here at the Big Buck Classic, the 30th anniversary, by the way, of Arkansas Big Buck.
Well, that's great. I've got some vendors that are actually going to be calling in later in the show, kind of represent some different interest. Perhaps next year we'd like to do the show remote out at the Big Buck Classic. I think that'd be pretty cool, so we'll work on those details. Let me start off by asking you, though, and I really appreciate the time you're taking away to be with us because I know you're pulled from a lot of different directions today. But start off by telling the guests the difference between Game and Fish Agency and Game and Fish Foundation, because you are president of the Game and Fish Foundation, and I'm not sure that people know there's a difference. So give us a snapshot of the difference between the two and how you work together, but how you are yet separate from each other.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for giving me that opportunity. You know, a lot of folks think that we are one and the same, but actually the foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit founded in 1982. So organization that's almost 40 years old and was set up and designed to help the state agency, Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, on some fundraising efforts, events, special programs, and really kind of are a utility player, so to speak, for the agency. Of course, we are separate. I am the hired gun at the foundation, and we are governed by a board of nearly 50 from across the state of Arkansas, all who are passionate about the outdoors, about conservation. And the key in all of this is introducing new people to the outdoors. So really anything and everything that we can do as a nonprofit to help the agency where it fits is kind of our mission. And some of the things that we do include the Arkansas Outdoor Hall of Fame banquet that's held each August, where we not only have a fundraiser to help keep the lights on around our nonprofit, but we also recognize Arkansans who have been instrumental in conservation across the state. And we look forward to, matter of fact, already getting the plans put together for this year's big event. Nearly 1,500 people show up down at the State House Convention Center. It's a live auction, silent auction, all in the name of conservation for Arkansas. So, again, any division across Game and Fish Commission, our 501c3 helps support. And, well, listen, you're talking to 50% of the foundation right now, and there's 2 of us on staff. And so you're right. I'm pulled in a lot of different directions, but it is a really rewarding job. It's one that I'm very passionate about. I've got 2 little girls who are 6 and 11 years old, and I really feel a duty to introduce those generation of my daughter's age to the outdoors. And a lot of times when they may not have another opportunity otherwise to do so, and plugging into a Game and Fish event or activity. And so, long answer to your question, but there's a lot going on. And again, I'm happy to help explain that. Our website has plenty of information, agff.org. If you want to learn more, we encourage folks to join our membership program. And it's kind of a way for you to be a part of what we're doing to help support the state agency that so many Arkansans enjoy. It's in our lifeblood as a state. As you know, Senator, with the economic impact for the outdoor industry, hunting and fishing and outdoor recreation is a big part of what we do in this state.
So this is the 30th anniversary of the Big Buck Classic. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir. 30
right.
years.
So what's the anticipated attendance this year?
I think now this just is an estimate from they're going to expect 40,000 people over the 3-day event. But I'm telling you, with this beautiful weather and conditions, people are coming on out early. When I pulled up at 8:30, there was a line out Roosevelt to get into the state fairgrounds. And like I said, they're about to open up this other lot. So in 30 years, they're expecting it. I mean, they handle it, and they've got great vendors out here, exhibits. And of course, the main goal of this event is, of course, to recognize the big bucks that have been harvested across the state. And tomorrow afternoon, I think it begins at 4 o'clock over at Barton Coliseum is where they'll have the weigh-in, so to speak. They will kind of announce the winners. And each county, so 75 counties, each county will have a big buck winner, and then they're kind of scored collectively. And at the end of the day, there will be a big buck champion. All that happens at Barton Coliseum tomorrow afternoon. And in the meantime, there's kids' activities here. There's, all the funnel cakes and shaved ice and other nachos and activities set up and down the midway. They've got alligators, rattlesnakes. I mean, it's something for everybody out here at Big Buck Classic.
Let me ask you on the because I was in a meeting a few days back, a week ago, something like that, with Director Fisk, and he was talking about the number of deer that are harvested in Arkansas. And I think it's, and I know you don't represent the agency, that you represent the foundation, but it seemed like he said there was around 240,000 deer that were harvested this year. Is that in the range, or do you know what that number is?
I don't know the exact number, but it's in the range, certainly. I mean, there was a time in Arkansas history here, not too long ago, where, you know, if you were to harvest a deer, you made the front page of the newspaper. In those years since, the Game and Fish Commission and the management of the herd, so to speak, has really has a good hand in helping shape the future of the sport of deer hunting and the herd itself. healthy population, one in which people come from all over to deer hunt in Arkansas. And it's a family tradition. It's something that the Game and Fish Foundation it really tries to plug into when it comes to carrying on those traditions handed down from our grandmas, grandpas, and so on, moms and dads who've introduced us into the sport of hunting and getting outdoors. And this is a way to kind of celebrate that. So, again, great time for folks to come out, see the incredible deer that have been taken in Arkansas this year. And every year there's a one that people wow and ooh and ah over. It's not the same old bread and butter, It's pretty incredible.
Well, I don't know if he's going to put it in. I was talking to him yesterday, but Senator Jimmy Hickey from down in the Texarkana area has harvested what appears to be a possible winner. I don't know if he got that entered in the Big Buck Classic over there. They were trying to get him to do it. So maybe he might take it this year. Let me ask you something, too, because I was talking to Director Fisk the other day on this subject, too. With regards to the declining sales of hunting licenses and fishing licenses in the state, what is it that the foundation is doing directly to try to turn that around and increase interest in hunting and just outdoors alone? I know it's the Big Buck Classic and we're focused on the deer and everything, but you've got the fishing expeditions over there that are, available to the kids and everything. But what is the foundation doing exactly to try to help get people re-engaged in hunting again or outdoor activities?
Yeah, great question. And really in its simplest form, the foundation being here this weekend with the Big Buck Classic, hosting the Kids Zone in its simplest form is a way that we're helping. I mean, I know that sounds a little kind of simple, but again, if we can get folks out here and engaged in the outdoors and it's kind of exposed to it, they kind of start seeing that, they're maybe not as scary, so to speak, as we may thought it was. Or there are some opportunities to get families outdoors together, and then one kind of begets the other, and they get out. For instance, like I said, at the Kids Zone, we have indoor archery set up with even for the youngest kids on a hover ball, which is kind of this really neat inflatable deal that shoots air, and the balls are kind of spinning, and the kids with a Nerf tip can shoot at it. And then in the room next to us, we have actually 3D archery where they're shooting at deer decoys and targets. But that just gets back to showing some introductory levels into the outdoors. So when you're shooting archery inside, maybe the next time they get outside, they want to take it to the next level. And that's really where we can kind of help at that ground introductory level, getting folks plugged in. Now, on the higher side of things, with the commission driven, we as a 501c3 can help with donations. And I've got folks all the time, even in a memorials or honorarium, say, Deke, we'd like for this money to go specifically to wildlife and the deer management. And so that's where we can help plug in on a high side as well. But to your point, there is across the state a decline in the number of hunting and fishing licenses sold. So any opportunity that I can have, that our foundation and my board can have to get out in front of the people and help, break down some of those barriers for them to get involved in the outdoors, we certainly try to do. Again, it's a passion point for me and my board and folks across the state who want to help do that. We are the kind of volunteer arm, and people ask me all the time, Deke, how can I be helping? And we've got ways for people to plug in to help us carry the message.
If you can give me about 10 more minutes, can you give me about 10 more minutes?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I know when you talk about archery, I think last year alone, there were like 60,000 kids that were involved in archery through the Game and Fish. And I'm not sure if it's the agency or the foundation in the public schools and in other school settings, in the hopes of being able to, draw kids into the archery side of things, which when I think about archery, it's not just about going out and hunting deer necessarily, because at the college level, there are starting to be scholarships for individuals to do things. And you mentioned the BB range a while ago, as far as marksmanship and with archery and the opportunities that are expanding to kids whenever they get up to the high school level to be in competitive in sports. but also be competitive as far as scholarships available at colleges. So do you actually go out then to public settings, and are you the one that's involved with the programs at the school? And what can you do as far as if somebody has interest in wanting to get a program set up? What are you able to do to come out to their organization? And are you limited to public school settings, churches, civic groups, or who can you come out and help?
Yeah, excellent question. And that's actually on the commission side of the house. But there's a man named Curtis Gray, and Curtis is the Game and Fish Commission kind of archery coordinator. And so that is what Curtis wakes up and eats, sleeps, and breathes is archery. And you're spot on. There is an incredible program. Thousands and thousands of kids across this state participate in the National Archeries in the Schools program. And each March down in Hot Springs at the Convention Center, they have the state championship. And if any of your listeners are interested in going down there and taking a look, it is incredible to see the thousands of kids show up to shoot in the championship. You know how big the convention center is down in Hot Springs there, and they open the whole floor up and line these kids up across the entire floor. And there is some scholarship money absolutely to be won for the champions. They have it broken down by North region and South region and so on and so forth. And Curtis does an absolutely wonderful job helping get kids involved with that. And also, as you mentioned, if there's a new school that may not have it, he can help kind of get that going. It's on the commission's website, I'm sure, agfc.com. Look under education and archery. That's where that falls under. Matter of fact, yesterday we had some grandmother that brought some of her grandkids out, and they were shooting archery in our kids zone here at the Big Buck Classic. And she says, we need to get this at our school. They were at a private school here in Little Rock. Gave her a card, said, give me a call. I can get you connected with Curtis and get y'all fixed up. So we, any opportunity that we can help plug in. And I say that a lot of times also, if I can be, or the foundation can be an ambassador, a conduit to that state agency, that's part of our jobs and mission. So,
well, we mentioned
check us out. We can do it.
All right. We mentioned about marksmanship and archery, but then you got to throw fishing in there because you mentioned in your kids zone out there. So what about, do the kids get to keep the fish that they're catching out there? Is this like catch and release out there at the Big Buck Classic?
Yeah, it's really neat. It's these are fish that were actually grown in the up at Mammoth Springs at one of the Game and Fish hatcheries, and so they trucked them down here. They're actually part of the Game and Fish Commission family and community fishing program. So these fish were actually designated to go into a pond here in Central Arkansas to be stocked. But along the way, they're gonna make a pit stop here at the Big Buck Classic to be caught and released. And then from here, they'll go into a pond. And that community and family fishing program is really wonderful also. The commission has, I want to say, close to 50 ponds across the state. And those are kind of in municipal ponds or in cities, so an urban setting. And it's an opportunity for folks to go out and try to catch a fish. They'll stock catfish or trout, just depending on the time of the year, or maybe the size and scope of the pond. But really cool. They do fishing derbies out here. I'd encourage everyone to check out the Game and Fish Commission website, again, agfc.com, family and community fishing, to get a list of all the ponds. And there's one, not in every city, but close to it. I mean, if you've got a pond, or if some of your listeners may be in a community that we may not have a presence in, and we'd encourage you to let us know about that so we can bring a fish to a community near you.
Okay. Hey, what are the hours that you're open? I know you guys are open today to what time?
Today we'll be out here until 8:00 tonight. And then tomorrow we'll open at 10 a.m. So we'll be from 10 to 6 tomorrow. And again, there will be folks that are continue coming in. Matter of fact, there's some people came back again today that I saw yesterday. They were having such a big time and didn't get to see it all. But we're down here at the state fairgrounds, and the foundation is really excited. It's our first year that we've ever hosted the kids zone, and we're up here in the farm and ranch building, and an opportunity for youngsters to come in and try to catch a fish or shoot archery. We've got a inflatable BB gun range, and really a lot of fun out here at the state fairgrounds.
Okay. So what's the cost to get in?
Cost is $15 for adults, and then I think 5 years old above to maybe 16 is $5, and then kids 5 and under are free.
Okay.
But that's an all-day pass, and once you're in, you can see it all. So there's no
surcharge or anything like
ticket
that.
lines or anything. No, sir. Come on in, and Kid Zone's free. The going and checking out the rattlesnakes and the alligators and the dogs jumping and the food. You got to pay a little for, but that's well worth it.
Yeah, I didn't.
So.
I noticed that you didn't mention any health food on that list a while ago when you're going through the list of the food vendors that were out there. So
I bet there's let me look over here. I'm walking by here and seeing oh, never mind. That's deep fried. So no.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the health food. You may need to pack a little snack.
We don't go there for that anyway, so we'll just indulge in it. All right. Well, before I let you go, so the website is agff.org, and you are the Arkansas Game and Fish Foundation. As far as the monies that you receive to support yourself, you guys don't get any of that 1/8 cent sales tax, do you? You guys are just strictly nonprofit, or what about your funding streams into your organization?
Yes, sir. So we are, we're a 501c3 nonprofit. That 1/8 cent sales tax, which is, that's goes over to the state side of the house. We raise money through membership programs, events that we have, like including the Outdoor Hall of Fame banquet, memorials, honorariums, the membership program that I mentioned. All of that good stuff can be found on our website, agff.org, and we are passionate about the things that the Game and Fish Commission does to help protect our fish and wildlife resources for the people of Arkansas. So good people, good organization. I'm very proud to be a part of it and help lead this organization.
Very good. Well, I've got a couple of your vendors that are going to be calling in after we take our break at the bottom of the hour that represent some different interests that are out there. And we hope that everybody that's listening today will get a chance to go out there this weekend. I've been out there the last several years. I can tell you it is a good family-friendly environment, and that's important, I think, today, especially in the world that we live in. So I would encourage you to get out there. Deke, I want to thank you for taking time. I know you're pulled from a lot of different directions to take time out to be with us. And again, their website is agff.org. They are the 501c3 arm of the Arkansas Game and Fish. I know that Deke and others would appreciate it if you're looking for a good cause to support, to create some, outdoor activity for the kids, which I know that's part of the challenge, Deke, is, getting the kids away from the video games, getting them away from the inside environment. Not that that's bad, but yet It seems like there's been a big shift, and we don't take advantage of what we've got in front of us as far as the natural beauty here in the state of Arkansas. So,
yep, you nailed it. And,
right.
And moms and dads too. We're all guilty of it. So let's unplug and engage in the outdoors.
Very good. Deke, I appreciate you joining us from the Big Buck Classic out there in Roosevelt at the State Fairgrounds. I encourage you to go by there today. Take your family. Very affordable event, and kids will have something great to do. When we come back after the break at the bottom of the hour, we're going to have a couple of the vendors that are calling in from out there I think you'll find interesting, especially if you're an individual that's interested in doing food plots for your deer and for your wildlife and want to get connected on that. I think you'll be interested in what we got when you come back. This is the Kim Hammer Show. Thank you for joining us today. Thanks to our sponsors, which would be Everett GMC Buick down in Sling County, also Edwards Food Stores, and again, Baxley, Phillips, Mowdy, realtors down there in Sling County. Encourage you to support all three of those guys, all three of those entities. We'll be back after the bottom of the hour to catch up. Listen to the local news.
Take The Answer with you anywhere with our free mobile app. 1011FMTheAnswer.com. Your smart speakers, iHeart, or radio.com. Breaking news and stimulating talk. 101.1 FM. The Answer.
Hey, it's Dave Ellswick. You know, cost is the biggest reason most of you don't check into private and Christian schools for your kids. And we want to change that. We've got partnerships with schools all over the area that's offering half price. That's right, half price, 50% off their tuition. See the complete list of schools at dealsforlittlerock.com. For more information, call Lynn at 501-404-6545.
Take The Answer with you anywhere with our free mobile app. 1011FMTheAnswer.com. Amazon Alexa, iHeart, or radio.com. Breaking news and stimulating talk. 101.1 FM. The Answer.
Did you know that when you claim your Social Security benefits, you could trigger an avalanche of taxes, double your Medicare premiums, and forfeit your spousal benefits? This decision could cost you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Learn how you could avoid these trap doors and get the most out of your Social Security benefits. Don't miss the David Lucas Show this Saturday at 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on 101.1 The Answer.
As a parent of 3, I understand well that our children are faced with so many troubling things at school these days. But what other options do we have? Maybe you've been thinking about putting your child into a private Christian school. If so, you need to check out Pursue Arkansas Christian Academy. There's so many great things about this school. Pursue Arkansas Christian Academy has a year-round balanced calendar, affordable tuition and scholarships, a Becca curriculum that is student-focused and prescribed for each child's academic growth, a homeschool-like program surrounded by nature for pre-kindergarten through 5th grade, all in a fun, biblically based environment. You can check them out when you go to pursuechristacademy.org. Now, all of this is great, but what sets Pursue Arkansas Christian Academy apart is their teachers. See, it's not just a job for them, it's a calling. They're committed to helping your children grow in knowledge, education, and in their walk with Christ. It's located in West Little Rock, just off Chenal. To schedule a visit, call them 501-612-5443 or pursuechristacademy.org.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Join me weekdays for This Morning, America's First News. Hear the stories you'll be talking about and searching for all day as we go beyond the headlines and above the chatter with your first look at breaking news, money, Washington politics, technology, entertainment, entrepreneurship, and sports. We explain why stories matter. That's why we are referred to as the most important and relevant radio program. Join us weekdays for This Morning, America's First News.
On the next Dave Ellswick classic movie, the aging patriarch of an organized crime dynasty transfers control of his clandestine empire to his reluctant son.
What do you think this is, the army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get them close like this, bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
Directed by Francis Ford Coppola and starring Marlon Brando and Al Pacino.
Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service.
From 1972, The Godfather.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
When the aging head of a famous crime family decides to transfer his position, a series of unfortunate events starts happening to the family.
And as a reasonable man, I'm willing to do whatever's necessary to find a peaceful solution to these problems.
The Godfather shows one time only, Tuesday, February 11th at 7 p.m. at the Riverdale 10 VIP Cinema. The Godfather, the next classic movie from Dave Ellswick and 101.1 FM The Answer.
What the hell is this?
That's a Sicilian message. It means Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
Hey, welcome back to the Kim Hammer Show. You're listening on 101.1 FM The Answer. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. I want to start off by just acknowledging those that help make this show possible, which would be Edward Food Stores, also Everett GMC Buick down there in Saline County at the Alcoa line, and then also Phillips Baxley Mowdy Realtors down Saline County. If you're looking for property down Saline County, they are an excellent source for you to reach out and contact. You're looking for a great GMC product. Encourage you to go down there. Everett's Dwight down there and his crew. Miss Susie, they'll take good care of you and not only give you a good deal on the vehicle, but take care of you in the way of service after you purchase the vehicle. And then, as always, if you're looking for a great food store to shop, ask you to consider looking at Edwards Food Store. Got everything you need in the way of a food store. Convenient, close, clean, friendly people, competitive prices. If you didn't catch up on it, they've already finished up the discussion this morning, or the debate on the impeachment. They've rested for the day, going to take the rest of the weekend off. I've got a personal opinion about that, a waste of taxpayer dollars, but it's part of the process and part of living in America. And so just thank God that we can do it in spite of what you may think about it. Thank God we live where we can. We're focusing today on the Big Buck Classic, which is in Little Rock today for the weekend. We had Deke Whitbeck, who is the president of the Arkansas Game and Fish Foundation, on the first half of the hour. They're expecting over 40,000 people, but they got plenty of parking and plenty of things for the kids to do out there. Got vendors galore. Even if you're not an outdoorsman, there's something for you. But we're going to kind of focus on the outdoor side of things. And right now we're being joined, and I've got to brag a little bit, being joined by my son, Keith Hammer, on the phone, who's actually out there set up as a vendor today. Keith works for Stratton Seed Company out of Stuttgart. And Keith, are you on the phone with us?
I'm here. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for responding to your daddy's plea to be here today. So you'll get a little extra Christmas bonus for this. But so tell us about Stratton Seed and what you guys do, and about your product line.
Yeah, so Stratton Seed, we were founded in 1948. It's passed down through. We're on third generation ownership right now. We have several locations, I think 6 total throughout Arkansas, and then we got one in southeastern Missouri, kind of around Boot Hill in Anniston, Missouri. So we start out as a row crop company, have been for over 75 years now. We have soybeans, rice, and wheat in the production lines, and a lot of our own lines. But then about 3 years ago, we went out and started the specialty size, what we call Go Wild, and we offer food plot products for whitetail, waterfowl, and upland birds, anywhere from spring planting through summer forage, and then fall planting as well, along with our own line of deer feeds.
So when you say you've got 6 locations and the one up in Missouri, those are actually processing plants where y'all take the seed in and treat them, or what are those facilities that y'all have?
Correct. So our home office is based out of Stuttgart. We have a 9-acre warehouse where we warehouse a lot of the seed that we produce ourselves, and we actually have the largest soybean and wheat conditioning plant in the southeast U.S. Right there in Stuttgart. We have 3 different locations there, a couple downtown, and that's correct. We produce and condition our own seed, and then as well as we just took on Missouri, I think 2 years ago now, and that's where we were starting there.
Which y'all actually range out to Texas, and I think you're branching up even up to Nebraska and out in Oklahoma. So as far as you're at Tennessee, I mean, you got a pretty big footprint in the southern part of the state, southern region. Is that pretty much the package as far as where y'all cover?
Correct. Yeah, we have 7, 8 wholesalesmen now that we branch out anywhere from as far as Texas all the way over to Alabama, a little bit in Kentucky, and then we got a new guy now that he's branched out into all the way up into northern Missouri and Kansas as our new additions for 2020 moving forward, and we're really excited about that. It's big whitetail and big whitetail country and farm country, and we're looking forward to that addition onto the sales staff.
Okay, so when you talk about specialty product, you mentioned off some of them, but the specialty product is more along catering to the wildlife side of things. Is it strictly about food plots, or what is the specialty seed used for?
Correct. Yeah. So we have several different blends that we cater toward either wildlife or waterfowl. Since we're based out of Stuttgart, of course, we're going to have waterfowl to offer. But so we do whitetail, waterfowl, and then upland birds so dove, quail, pheasant, those kind of birds. And then we also have some GTS soybeans, glyphosate tolerant soybeans that are ours, and those have been very well for us. And really, you're going to find a lot of them out on the market, but none that are as costly efficient for us and for the consumer as well. So it's a win-win for everybody. And we're steadily coming out with new products that we're testing in-house, and we got some guys that help test for us that we've partnered with. A couple I'll mention there's Land and Legacy. They're crop consultants out of Southwest Missouri, just outside of Springfield, a little ways. And then Quest Hunt Co., which is a whitetail hunting tournament. It's basically like a buddy fishing tournament, but you get you and a partner and you team up with him, and then y'all score your best deer, and they give away a bunch of prizes at the end of every year. So we're looking forward to that partnership as well.
Now, some of the other partnership, let me ask you this. As far as if somebody wanted to find y'all's product lines, where is it that they would go to find them?
Generally, any of your co-op stores, just your feed and seed stores, that sort of thing. We're looking at kind of branching off into some stores, maybe like some Tractor Supplies and that sort of thing, coming up down the road that we're excited about. But any of your feed stores down the road, and if we don't have it in there yet, then feel free to hit them up and they'll contact us, and we'll make sure to get it in your hands the best we can.
Now, a few years ago, you partnered up with somebody to do some blogging or some recording of some outdoor activities. Can you talk about that for just a second?
Yeah, so Land and Legacy is a big part in helping us kind of launch the specialty side of Stratton, and I actually worked with those guys a little bit through college, and we basically put together a catalog of all these blends that they had. A couple of them actually they'd been working on for several years and testing themselves, and then we took it to market, like I said, probably about 2 years ago, and this will be our third full year starting off for 2020. But so they basically have a podcast, and then they do some videos on YouTube. They have a YouTube channel, and they just try to keep it real for people and real life scenarios, whether it's anywhere from habitat management to food plots to just overall deer management and herd management. And they do a really good job of that, and been really good partners for us since day one. All
right. Very good. Anything else you'd want to share about Specialty Seed or anything else about the company you work for? And how many vendors? I know you're out there in the thick of all the vendors and everything. How many vendors would you say are out there at the Big Buck Classic this year?
I'd have to go back and count them one by one. I hadn't heard an actual number. I did hear you say there was 40,000 people coming through, and that was kind of how it was last year. It's always a really good show. We do several shows throughout basically this time of year. This is kind of show season for everybody, but we see a lot of different shows, but this one is by far one of our favorites. It's just great to get out and talk to other people that have the same shared interest and share hunting stories, and get down to Barton Coliseum and see all the big bucks that were killed and make you a little jealous. But anyway, it's always a good time. We enjoy it. We're right here basically in the smack dab middle of the Hall of Industry. So if you're out and about and want to come by and see us, we'd love to chit chat and just share some hunting stories with you.
Very good. All right. Well, there you go. You got an open invitation. If you are out at the Big Buck Classic or you're going to go out there, you can go by and see them at the Stratton Seed booth. I will tell you, as far as their specialty product, they are second to none, and they are very affordable compared to some of the other markets, and they are growing and expanding. The thing about it, too, is even if you don't like hunting, but you want to take care of your wildlife, such as maybe take care of your pet deer that are in your yard, or bring in some quail or anything like that. That's one thing that you may want to consider. While it is about hunting, it's also about taking care of the nature and taking care of the God's creature. So if you want to do something to help, with regards to that, you might think about putting up a little food plot for them, and you can go by and see them. Keith, I appreciate you being on, and your mama said call her when you get a chance, okay?
Sounds good. Well, thanks for having me, Dad.
All right, you're welcome. That's Keith Hammer with Legacy Seed out there at the Big Buck Classic, along with a bunch of other vendors, which now we're going to go into our next vendor that's also out there. This is Jay Darr. He is manager of the Riggs Outdoor there at the Alcoa exit. Jay, have I got you on the line?
Yes, sir, you do. Thanks for having me.
Very good. So what's your impression of the Big Buck Classic out there so far, as the people coming through and just the number of vendors from your perspective?
Well, last year was actually my first time to be involved with Riggs Outdoor and the Big Buck Classic, and I was kind of overwhelmed, to be honest with you. I mean, I knew it was a big deal, but this is the first time that I had been involved with it from a vendor standpoint, and there's quite a few things to look at and buy, and I can get myself in trouble pretty quick with the wife being around all those good toys.
So what are some of the other vendors that you're seeing out there? I just had Keith, my son, on. He's with Stratton Seed. Of course, we'll talk about what you guys do as far as outdoor equipment. But when you see some of the other vendors up and down where you are, what are some of the things that you're seeing that are offered out there?
Well, I mean, it's not the season right now, but of course you see the boats out there. You see a lot of different kind of startup hunting products. One of the things that we kind of have a connection with, because it's one of our products we offer here, is Lockdown Outdoor Scents, which is deer and doe scents and things like that, and cover scents. They're kind of an up and coming product and business out there. But just seeing the up and coming new guys trying to make their stake out there in the market is kind of exciting for me.
And that was one thing I noticed when I was there last year. You mentioned about the New Start. It's a great place to get an audience with people that otherwise you might not get a chance to. So if you're, somebody out there listening and thinking that you got a product line, you might want to, contact Deke with the Arkansas Game and Fish Foundation to see about getting a booth out there next year. Because I've got a buddy, and I'm not sure if he's out there this year or not. I haven't got out there yet, plan on going by. But his name is Joe Stout, and he has an invention that you would put on the front of a four-wheeler or can mount to a tractor bucket. But, if you need to clear your hunting lanes, it's like a side mount bush hog that'll adapt to the front of your four-wheeler, and you can go right down your hunting lanes and trim all those things back. So, even if you're not a hunter, but you're a farmer and you want to keep your fence rows clean. And that was one thing that I found really impressive last year, was just to walk around and see all the different concepts and inventions that people, have come up with. So let me shift and ask you, Riggs Outdoor hasn't always been in the outdoor business per se. You think Riggs, you think about the track hoes, the bulldozers, the heavy road equipment, things such as that. So how long has Riggs actually been in the outdoor business?
So about a few years ago, we purchased two outdoor power sports dealers in the Central Arkansas area. And I think that was almost 3 years ago. We kind of consolidated our efforts in early last year, actually February 26th of last year. We kind of consolidated our efforts into two locations, our main store being the one off Interstate 30 in Benton. And, we offer KTM, Kawasaki, Kemco, as far as our power sports lines. But, Riggs, Caterpillar has been known for over 95 years now. They've been known as being a good company, a good people, a good family. So us able to get into the power sports market, we just kind of wanted to, we've got a lot of people that obviously cross over, people that are in construction and things like that tend to own side-by-sides and rifles and shotguns and go hunt. So it was a good fit for the company, and I think the ownership, management have done a good job of kind of blending the two in our Riggs Outdoor location.
Now, you have more locations than just one out there in I-30. Y'all have, is it 7 statewide locations?
We currently have 9 total Riggs branches that do 8 of those branches do the rental of equipment and Caterpillar products. And I think currently we have 4 that sell the LS tractor line and the Spartan mower line. The one in Benton here off I-30 is the only one that does the power sports Kawasaki, KTM, Husqvarna lines.
So what makes it a better product line than maybe some of the others? I mean, why did y'all focus on that? And do y'all have your own brand, or is that the brand that you carry?
No, we don't have our Riggs Outdoor brand as far as equipment. Kawasaki, I think it kind of, whenever they were looking for a vendor to or a manufacturer to kind of partner with, I mean, Kawasaki does a lot of things right. They think of the engineering and making sure their products are going to last for a long time. I think that that was very attractive because it kind of fits in with what Cat does. You know, Cat's obviously known as being a prime product, being a heavy duty product, and one that'll last your lifetime and maybe even someone else's lifetime. I think that they looked at Kawasaki as being that kind of a manufacturer, and for the most part, every bit of their products are that way. You know, they look at longevity and reliability, just like the Cat line. So it was kind of a match made in heaven there.
Very good. But you also carry a line of mowers and lawn
Yes,
equipment and such as that too, if I remember right.
Yes, sir. So, you know, obviously Riggs Caterpillar is an Arkansas-based company. It's Arkansas-based family. They've got, you know, deep ties in Arkansas for many, many, many years. And so when we were looking for a mower line to kind of partner with, they did a great job of actually meeting up and getting another Arkansas-based product, which is Spartan Mowers, which are based out of Batesville, Arkansas. So, and if you've never actually touched and rode and used a Spartan mower, you really owe it to yourself before you make any purchases, because they do it the same way that Caterpillar and Kawasaki do. They take a lot of pride in making sure that product's done right.
Well, and that's part of what, you know, this show focuses on, is taking care of Arkansans and making Arkansans aware of what we have in the state, not only from the government perspective and things that are going on within the government, but just like Stratton Seed that I had on just before you that my son works for, they're an Arkansas-based company. And then Riggs is an Arkansas-based company, you know, and as you mentioned a while ago with the lawnmower assembly plant up there in Batesville. One thing I also know about Riggs, and part of the reason I wanted to get you guys on, because I believe that you ought to take care of those that are taking care of others, is because I know you guys are real community minded. I know you're, you know, real strong in taking care of Second Chance Ranch up there, which is a foster home that's run there by the Family Church at the Bryant location. And also you all have adopted the Texarkana Orphanage down in Texarkana, and you're working on some things in Northwest Arkansas. So, you know, as a company, I appreciate not only you being Arkansas-based, which means that you employ Arkansans, but you're a very community-minded company as far as connecting to what the needs in the community are.
Very much so, and that goes, you know, that goes back to the family, you know, being fifth generation owned. Sean O'Keen, which leads this company now, he you know, he's very much into the community, you know, helping the community in any way. And so Second Chance Ranch, Mayfly Project, Boys and Girls Clubs and things like that, you know, we sell some products that benefit them 100% in our stores, that you can buy, the proceeds go to them. And we're always looking for opportunities to help the kids out, for sure.
What's the Mayfly Project? You mentioned it. What is it?
So it is a project that helps kids get some help and support from adults through fly fishing. And so it's kind of fellowship with an organization that takes in kids and takes them fly fishing and offers some support in that with that arena. Okay. I have never been actually personally involved with it, but I know that we do sponsor them financially.
Well, and that's an example of how that y'all are giving back to those that are giving to you, and that's why we need to support Arkansas-based companies, because it does help, you know, right here in our local community on various levels. All right, so real quick, run through the list of things that you guys have to offer, and what are some of the toys that you got out there on display today at the Big Buck Classic?
Sure. So if you find the rattlesnakes, you'll find us. So we're right next to the rattlesnakes for the second year in a row, much to the chagrin of a lot of our employees who don't like snakes. But we'll have some LS tractors out there right now, which is our agricultural tractor line. Anywhere from 22 horsepower all the way up to 110 horsepower on those we offer, and then implements with those as well. Of course, I mentioned the Spartan mowers. Arkansas-based company and a great product. We'll have some examples of our 2019 line. And if you buy our 2019 model from us on the Spartans, you get a free Husqvarna handheld, whether that be a trimmer or a blower or anything that you need like that. Of course, Kawasaki, the Mule line, which is legendary. we've got those out there for you to take a look at, and we can customize those for your application, whether that be duck hunting or deer hunting or anything like that, or just around the farm. And then, of course, we've got our Caterpillar stuff out there. So you talked about shooting lanes and food plots and things like that. So Caterpillar makes a $2.99 mulcher that offers a mulching head on the front of it, which we rent to a lot of deer clubs and duck clubs and things like that right before the season, because they'll actually mulch up to a 6-inch tree, and they use those to clean up shooting lanes and things like that, or create new shooting lanes. So that, along with, we also rent those. We also rent agricultural tractors with bush hogs if you need to clean up your shooting lanes or anything like that. And then, of course, we offer all the goodies that go along with the toys, the apparel. We sell banded gear, which is a very hot hunting line right now. We sell waders in store and things like that. So you really owe it to yourself to come in here and see what we got, because it's you may spend an hour in here looking at things we got to offer.
I just had a good listener text me a message. You guys also are heavily involved with Amplify that takes place down in Benton every year. That's the Christian concert, music concert right there held behind Holland Chapel Baptist Church on the old fairgrounds and everything. I know that y'all supplied a lot of manpower, a lot of
generators,
support.
light towers, absolutely everything we can to make that show go great. It's a great show. My family and I went to it a couple of years ago, and it was my daughter and son. They really enjoyed that show.
Yeah, I forgot how many they said they had out there. It seemed like, and I may be pulling numbers out of the air, but it seemed like there was 30,000+ people there, through that weekend and everything. And they actually laid off last year, but they're coming back this year. So I'll try to get the organizers of Amplify on one day, and we'll have a discussion about that. Now, you mentioned rental, so you guys have a full rental line as well at all your 9 locations?
Yes, sir. At all 9 locations, you can come in here. We rent COD. You don't have to have a charge account. You don't have to have renter's insurance. We offer some solutions to those problems. So if you're out there, if you're just someone who needs to run some water lines or do some work around your yard, and you need to rent a small excavator, we've got that, of course. And you mentioned earlier, the large dozers and large excavators, we've got that as well. But what a lot of people don't know when they think Riggs Caterpillar is we've got all that small equipment. And when I say small equipment, I'm talking about excavators that are, 3,000-4,000 pounds that you can rent, get on your job site, get on your at your house and clean up some damage or dig some water lines. We offer aerial products, which is big right now. So whether it be boom lifts or scissor lifts or anything like that. I mentioned the agricultural tractors. Those are becoming very popular with homeowners that, they have an area that's kind of overgrown and they don't want to go buy, a bush hog and a tractor, or don't have one to borrow from. Come see us. We've got those in our rental fleet, and we can take care of that need for you as well.
Very good. All right. Well, I'm going to have to let you go. We're about to run out of time, but we've been visiting with Jay Darr with Riggs Outdoor. The closest location is right down there in Benton on I-30 at the Elko exit. He's out there at the Big Buck Classic by the Rattlesnake Pen. So go by there and see Jay and slip up behind him, just tap him on the back of the leg and see him jump. Jay, I appreciate you being on. For all of our listeners, thank you. Glad to be back with you today after being off last week sick. I want to thank our sponsors, which would be Everett GMC Buick, Edwards Food Store, and also Baxley, Phillips, Mowdy down there in Saline County. This is Kim Hammer. You've been listening to The Kim Hammer Show, and see you next week. Thank you.
101.1 FM, The Answer. KDXE FM, Kamak Village, Little Rock. A Salem Media Group station. 101.1 FM, The Answer.